Hello, Elise. I am just getting on. So we'll wait a little bit and see who all else shows up. I went back to Goodwill because 2 of the tops didn't fit me. So I spent another little bit, and here comes my little guy. Hang on, I got to let him in. He's been gone all day. About time you came home. Where you been? Yeah, I know. You're hungry. You want something to eat? I'll be right there, guys. Gotta feed the baby. Wanna feed the baby. Alright, and I'll fill you up the other. All right. Hi, Janet. Hi, Mary. Holly, Beth, Cheryl, Suze. Okay, Suze. Had to feed Tippy and Callie. Howie will massage the door and knock like he's a human a little bit, but just looking down through chat, see if I've caught everybody. Hi, Diana. Hi, Joan. Hi, Giovanna. All right, so tonight I'm going to give you a choice about what we start with. Do we want to do Dirty Dozen with the kitty cards first, or do y'all want to make a little pocket pal? I created these last night for the little pockets in my Do-si-do book that I finished. She lives in this pocket, but they're a little wider than my book sections, but that's okay. They just peeking out. But she just slides down in there. And I decided we would make some more of these, and I'd show you how I came up with a pattern. So you need either some flesh-colored cardstock, skin tone, whatever your skin tone is, and then some just painty papers, markers, and black Sharpie. I'm just using the little Sharpies that I got the other day, and I just used painty paper in mine from my stash from people that sent it to me, and random scrapbook paper and stuff. So I made 4 little dolls. Each one's got her own little hairstyle and appearance. So do you guys, the dollies first? Let me pull them out so you can see. We'll set the kitty cat cards aside for right now. We'll make the dollies first. So get you something for your base, for the skin tone. And see, there they are. And I'll set this back out the way. And this is for the kitty cat game. Of course, it might be easier for you guys to see what I'm doing if I leave it down there. Uh-oh. I went for a walk in the park, and I've been coughing ever since. Something must be in bloom up there at the park. But I have cough drops. You just have to contend with that. Hi, Rosa. All right. So let's start. I want to make one the same size as this with my pattern. And then I'll try to come up with one that's smaller. So I'll tell you what I did to make my pattern. Her head is just a punched circle. And I use this punch, which is a 1.5. So a 1.5 inch punched out circle for her head. For her arm, I just hand sketched one. And I use my pattern. And when I go, if you're making multiples, put the thumb toward the front. Let me get my pencil again. I meant to sharpen a pencil. It would be sharper. That's okay. And I trace one with her thumb in. So what you have to do is just draw you a little arm and just give her a little gloved hand. Tippy, honey, I know you've been gone all day and you like loving, but Mama's busy right now. So I'm going to put you in your bed and you have to go sleepy for a little bit. Okay? I'll love on you later. Okay? And her arm, if you want to know the length of her arm so you can sketch your own pattern, her arm is only about 1 inch and 1, 2, 3/8. So almost 1.5 inch long. So I traced it with her thumb this way, and then I'm just going to flip my pattern over so I have a right and a left arm. Oops. And this is how I made 4 dollies last night. I just did like one after the other. So her arm is about 1 3/8 inch long. All right. Her head is a 1.5 inch circle. Punched 1.5 inch circle for head. So those are there. Now her body is just a triangle with a rounded off top. And so that's 1.5 inches. So what I would do is just, if you have not made a pattern like I have already made, just make a little mark at the 1.5 and then at the top. And then her skirt is at the base is about 1.5. So what I do is I just draw a 1.5 inch line. And then I just kind of eyeball, make a little mark at the 1.5 at the top. We'll take this one away so it's not confusing. And then just draw a triangle. Remember, you're just making your pattern. Just draw a little triangle up and then round the top of it off. And that's her little dress. So it's 1.5 inches this way. And it's 1.5 from the bottom line to the top. Okay. Everybody following so far? Do I need to come in closer? Hi, T. Hi, Holly. Hi, G. Brody. Now her legs, what I did for her legs to make my pattern is I just took my ruler, which is 1 inch wide, and I just drew down both sides of it like that. And then I just drew a line straight across. Okay. And then at the bottom, I made feet. So I kind of eyeballed where half of it was. So that would be the line for her, each of her legs. This is how you make your pattern. And then just round the corner there, and round the corner there, and there, and there. So that gets her corner rounded. And then at the top, I just kind of rounded this over to the top here. Let's see how close I came to my original. Okay, I was closer at the top line. But once you get each of the components made into a pattern, then all you have to do is trace the pattern pieces. Like I've got this one. I can make a doll and a doll and a doll and a doll just by tracing this. And see, there's her feet. And then I could take my triangle from here. You need to cut one of the bodies out of your cardstock or your manila folder or whatever you're using that's your stiff base. All right, and then 2 arms, one with the thumb going. So the thumbs are toward the inside. If you remember that, you'll have a right and a left. So you put one there, flip your pattern over, and there's that one. Okay? And then you need to take your, closer please. Okay. Hang on just a sec. That's about as close as this camera is going to let me go. I'll lift it up. So the legs are actually the width of my ruler, which is 1 1/8 inch wide. And then the leg units are about 1 3/4 inches. The main reason I made them so tall is I want the dress to overlap them and be more secure. But once you get a base pattern made, all you got to do is trace around them. Oh dear. All right. So I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions, okay? You can go out. Come on. All right, let's see if there was any questions. You bought some Dolly stamps? Tanya started it in my head the other day when she did the movable limbs dolls. It's a little bumblebee. It's a bumblebee stamp from the dollar bins at Michael's. And I was just sitting here and I did them in yellow and black, but they didn't show up. So I just added orange. So they're a different kind of bee. Hi, Ruth. All right. Hi, Lisa. Are you okay? Lisa took a tumble over Cubby. Oh, Dolly, not doily. It is a bee. Dolly Halton. Okay. So I'm not seeing any questions. I'm hoping everybody's got their patterns drawn out. Once you get your patterns, I would keep them, and then that way you can just trace around them and you can make dollies really fast. So I'm going to cut these out. Oh, before we do that, you need 2 triangles of a painty paper for her dress. I don't know if this is wide enough. It's not. So I think I'll use this for her dress. We'll save that skinnier one for a smaller doll. And just, I would trace one like this and then flip it and trace, you know, the second one the other way so that they'll meet each other back to back. So I'm going to do that real quick. And I just trace around with, where'd my pencil go, for crying out loud? There it is. You could do this on the back of the paper if you wanted to, so you could see it, see your marks. And then I'm just going to flip it over so I can get them both on here, and they'll fit back to each other. And then you just cut all your components out. I hope I can see that first triangle. Can't really see that first one. I don't know what happened. It's like it didn't even mark it. So we'll try again. I think I got it the right way. That's a little better. You know what? Doggone it. I'm just going to use a marker because I'm going to go around them anyway in a minute. I'll see this marker. There we go. I can see that now. Right. And then you just cut your components out. And you can make as many dollies as you want. Oh, and I forgot. You need 2 small circles of the same painty paper. So I used just this small punch. This is for her the little collar piece right here. I just used 2 circles. All right, so there's that. There's one side of the dress. I'll show you why I cut 2. Last night when I was making the dollies, I didn't think to do this. So she had kind of a naked hiney hanging out on the back. So that taught me that I needed to cut 2 of the triangles out and flip the pattern so that they'd fit right back to back. So she has a dress on the back as well as the front. I was not going to worry about adding circles to the back for the collar area because usually the Peter Pan collars is just flat at the back. So I wasn't going to worry about that. So there's those. All right. Cynthia above. I got your rack in the mail. Thank you so much. You made my day. Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad. Remember, I want to keep the circle with my pattern so that I remember that. I want to keep all my pattern pieces together. So I got the dress body, a head and an arm, and I've got to still cut out her legs. And so I want to punch a head. So there's her head. Then I need to cut out the legs. I'll get it back down where you guys can see it here in just a minute. Legs and body, and then I need her arms. And just draw the arm. You only have to come up with one arm, and then you can just trace around it. Just remember to flip it over so you get a right and a left arm. And just do the best you can. These are just, little dollies. And this is what they look like for anybody just coming in. This is what we're working on. And the painty paper is kind of thin because it's on copier paper. That's why I cut a base triangle to glue the painty paper to. And if you had a Xyron machine, this would go really fast because you could just slide it through. You're also going to need some kind of solid color. I'm thinking I might go ahead and let this little girl have purple hair to go with her dress. But you can make the hair color anything you want. And what I did for the hair is I just took my circle and I just traced just like the top half of the circle. Whoops. On whatever paper I'm going to use, and I did that twice. And then I just kind of randomly cut her hair. I cut the top of it so it would match. If you didn't want to do that and you wanted to give her spike hair, just cut spikes out on that circular motion, up out of the top. We might do that. We might make this purple girl have punk rock hair. But we'll get to the hair in just a minute. Let me cut these out the rest of the way first. Jumping ahead on myself. Each little girl has a different face. I just hand drew them. And I'll draw one in front of y'all so you can see. And I didn't worry about it because I thought, well, dolly faces come, some have huge eyes and some have little teeny eyes. And dollies just can look any old way. I thought it might be fun to do an art doll swap, but I don't know how many people would be interested in doing that because it might be a little too, an actual doll made out of fabric. I don't know if anybody would be interested. I might save that little piece for the little doll. So the good thing about pencil is you can erase it. And I did their faces in pencil, and then I went over it with the fine-tipped marker, and then I erased all my pencil lines on their faces. They look like Russian nesting dolls. They do, kind of. My husband works with a man that has a wife from Russia, and she does paintings of those dolls on rocks and sells them. They are adorable, and she does such fine work. She has so much detail in them. This might be easier with smaller scissors. Let me try. Trying to use too big. Yeah, for anybody coming in, I told how to make each little component. Now, if you want them to not just be glued together, if you wanted legs and arms to move, you could just cut the legs in half down the middle and then just attach them with brads if you want to. You would have to figure out where to attach them on her body skirt piece. But I just glued her together. I thought if you attached a large paper clip, she could be a really adorable paper clip for your journal too. But her original purpose was to hide in a pocket. That's why I called her a pocket pal doll. All right, so we've got all our components. And I think I want to go ahead and put her face on before I start gluing it together, simply because once you start gluing it, then you've got different layers there, and I don't want her face to look too crazy. Yes. The hair is two pieces. One piece you glue straight to her face on the front, and then this piece is as big as the whole circle on the back. So there's two pieces of paper on her head for her hair. Each one has that. And the reason their dresses don't match is I just made all 4 dolls and I didn't have any more of that paper. That's why she's got those. But you can cut her hair any old way and then just add the individual hairs if you want to. If you don't want to, you can just leave her plain. But I thought it looked cute with them. Let me sharpen my pencil real quick. Scott's got an old-timey pencil sharpener on his desk here. Doesn't that noise take you back to school? And yes, I did their faces before I did their hair. That's why some of them got hair in their eyes. And I'm getting stuff on my Dirty Dozen paper, but I'm not going to worry about it. It'll be all right. I think I'm going to flip it over because it's just a punch circle. So I actually started with their mouths because I could kind of start there and do better. When I try to start with their eyes, I don't do so well. And then just give her some little dimples. Make this one smile. And then I think about her nose. And then I do the bottom of her eye. I make a little dot. This is just how I do it. To have the black part from the corner of your eye. And then I draw the bottom of her eye. And if you want your dolly to sleep, stop there and give her a few lashes. See? Your doll could be asleep. And then just put some lashes pointing down. But I'm going to give her some eyelids. So what I do is I start here and I go up a little bit and then I come down toward the other corner of her eye. So I just go up a little bit and then down toward the corner of her eye. And then that gives her first lash right there. And then I just pretend I'm putting marbles in her eyes, but I darken the outer corner too. Because if you look at your eye, there's a little bit of dark on the corner. And then you have your white part of your eye. So I'll draw like a line to denote the edge of the eye. And then I just do a shape. It doesn't have to be, if you make it, like Mary said one time, if you make it so it's not a perfectly round sphere, it looks more real. And then do the center of her eye. This little girl looks sleepy. But that's okay. And then I just give her a couple more lashes up here. And then I do like 3 out the bottom. And then give her some eyebrows. Depending on where you place the center of her eye, you know, the macula of your eye, depending on where you place that, it'll be where she's looking. So then I colored her. And I just used, last night I used this Tim Holtz Distress Marker. I have it in blue and pink, and then I just used one of these, which is Artist Pigmented Marvy Memory Series red, and this is the only thing I used for color on my dollies. Yeah, make a Picasso doll face. It's a doll. You know, have one tiny eye way up high and then one great big eye on the other side and then a L for a nose. Yeah. So I'm going to redden her lips a little bit with this one. And I don't fill the whole thing in. Okay. I'm going to do just like the lower sections. Like I'll do the peak of her lips, the bottom, farthest bottom of her lip, and then right along the smile line with the red. And then I took the pink and I came in with the brush tip on the pink and just kind of blended those together. And then it's picked up a little of the red, and I just gave her some little red cheeks. And again, it's just a doll. You can make them perfectly round or elongate them out or make them like Scott calls racing stripes, where it's a triangle and it goes straight back to your ear. Do you remember the 80s when we all seemed to want to do that? Then I'm going to take the blue and just color in the colored part of her eye. And I actually gave her a little blue on her eyelid. She must be a 70s girl. And maybe a little bit at the base, at the bottom of her eye, just in the corner. Okay, and now I'm just going to go over all my pencil lines with a thin tipped Sharpie. I'm going to do the hair in just a minute. I'm not going to draw the hair. I'm going to put the hair on like I did it last night. She'll have some hair eventually. So everywhere I have a pencil line, I'm just going over. I'll look up in just a minute. I want to give her some eyebrows. See the chat's moving. I can see it moving. The reason I wanted to do her face is I want it all to be nice and dry before I erase everything. So I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to let it, once the marker has settled down, I'll erase everything, and then I go in with my Posca pen or a white jelly pen and just give her little white dots on her eyes and then a little bit on her lips, just to give a little bit of highlight. All right, so while that does that, let's put the body together, because we need to have it all together first before we put the head on and worry about the hair and stuff, because her body has to be on first. But let's look at her legs real quick. Okay, you want to divide the legs with a line. So just kind of eyeball a line down the middle. And then we need to give her shoes. So I just gave her little like ballerina shoes, where you just draw the letters, backwards letter C, or a kind of a little U at the base. All right. And then flip it over, and on the back, do the same thing. You can kind of see your line between there. But on the back, you're going to want to come up just a little bit higher, because that's how those shoes do. All right. So there's her little feet. That's the back. This is the front. We want to give her some little knees. So her knees are about 1/2 inch up. And all you got to do is do a mark like that and a mark like that, and she has knees. Now, if she has little wrinkly knees, you could add more wrinkles in there, but I just did the 2 lines and I thought it looked good. Hi, Peg. So then we're going to glue her body down on here. So whatever glue you like to use, I'm just going to use, if I can get any out, some Scotch Quick Dry. And I'm going to put it on her legs so that I don't get it everywhere. And then just put her body base down on the legs. Okay. All right. Now you're going to take just one of these. Don't just leave one aside and take one and go ahead and glue it down on top of here. Okay. I'm just going to put the glue on the body piece. Might smooth it out a little bit. I got kind of aggressive with the glue. Just use my finger. And you could make a whole rainbow of dolls, and they'd be so cute with just different colored cardstock. They'd be absolutely adorable. All right. All right. So that's that. Now, we want her to have her little collar up here. And I placed her arms on the back of these. So if you just put a little glue on the back of a sleeve, basically, think of these as sleeves. Then you just got to make sure you're gluing them on the right way. So I'm going to put the thumbs toward the body, and I'm just going to put the little arm on here like that. See, it's like it creates a crescent moon with a little arm in there. All right, so there's one, and we're going to do the same on this. I don't know if I've got enough glue left on my finger. All right, I want to make sure I'm gluing them down right here. Let's see how close I got. Pretty close. All right. Then I'm just going to put a little glue on the front of her dress at the top. Need some more of this. This is my favorite glue because it dries quick. I think I've got a booger bot. Holly above. Becky, question, are we going to start with a colored background again? We can. Did everybody like having like a base color of their choice last week? Since we got a purple dolly, what if we all start with a purple background? And then I just kind of put her arms on to where these two met and kind of looked like a Peter Pan collar. I'm going to put her arms just a little bit closer, and they just meet in the middle. The two circles just meet there because you don't want to overlap them because then her head won't fit. Her head won't sit on straight. All right. So there's that. We can go ahead now and add the back of her dress on here. And remember, it's only going to go where the other piece of the dress is. The backs of the collar you can hide with her hair. Or if you wanted to, you can punch out 2 more circles and just match them up too. I'll leave that up to you guys. Because people aren't going to see this back piece all that much, but I didn't want her to have a bare behind sticking out. Okay, so then we can put her head on, but before we do that, I want to erase that pencil. And I like white erasers because they don't leave a bunch of residue of that funky orange residue everywhere. I don't know what got on her there, but that's okay. Then I'm just going to put just a little bit of glue. Think about her head shape. Put just a little moon shape here in the middle. Whoa, Becky, did you not hear yourself? Crying out loud. And then just glue her head down on here. And this girl's going to have purple hair because she needs to match her dress. So let me get a piece of purple cardstock and I'll show you how I did the hair. I need to do something with this. I don't know how it'll do on a cheese wrapper, but there's cheese wrapper. We'll just use that. Maybe I can use that glue here. All right, so purple hair. And we're going to start with a purple background tonight on our Dirty Dozen. So we'll be doing that here shortly. Let me get a wet one and a piece of purple paper. I got my cart. My art cart is all cleaned up. I hate to get it messy. I got a piece of purple. Purple. Yes. All right. That's good in purple. How about that? All right. So if you have another punched out circle that's the same size as her head, what I did is to just give myself a reference point. I just traced around like the top half of it. That's where her head is. And I do that twice. Once for the front and once for the back. That way I don't get too crazy with wild hair. This is going to be hard for you guys to see, but I don't want to put all right, let's do the front first. So do we want her to have spikes out the top of her head, or do we want her to be more smooth around the top? Yes, Cheryl, I showed it in my video I did earlier today. So do it smooth or spiky? Because I just eyeball cut this. I did not draw this out. Okay, well, we're going to do her smooth. So you just start cutting and go ahead and cut the top, the very top of her head right along the circle. And you can start the whatever kind of freaky hair you want anyway. And I just started cutting. And I just did little waves. All right, and this is for the front of her head. So as I'm cutting, I'm going to come up around, maybe give her a few little hairs come down that'll go in her eyes. And I'm just cutting any old which way. You guys, that might be the camera shop. Hang on. Hey, bud, I'm doing my live show. Are you okay? I got a package. That's yours, honey. That's your Easter present. I told you I ordered you new safety shoes. So happy Easter. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, goodness. All right. Love ya. Bye. He's so funny. Mom, you got a really big package. I said, Happy Easter. And he's like, what? So see, I just, and this will fit right on her head, right around her face. And I'm not even going to worry about the fact it goes over her eyes. Because have you seen the kids lately? I don't know how they see where they're going, to be honest. But hey, it's their bag. So what I do is I just put a little glue around the top of her head, and I go ahead and glue the front of her hair down. And then I'm just going to do the same thing and put it on the back of her head. But of course, I'll leave it come all the way down. And I was going to try to use this mess of glue. Yeah, he needed new safety shoes for work. So I said, he's a grown man, but I can still get him something for Easter. So I ordered him safety shoes because I don't want him to fall, because of not working shoes. He works at Home Depot warehouse. We were laughing about it the other day because when he was little, if we tried to go to Lowe's, he would pitch a fit and he'd say, "No, Lowe's." And I was going to pick at him, but he was in a foul mood this weekend, so I didn't get to pick at him about it and say, "See, you didn't like Lowe's, bad enough you work for Home Depot instead." But Home Depot is a really good company to work for. They've got really good programs. All right. So I want to keep the roundness. So I'm going to follow just the very top of this time. Those scissors, I just feel like they're just too much. And again, you can erase the pencil line. All right. So I'm going to keep that much of the roundness. And then I'm just going to start giving her hair. And you guys, honestly, anybody can cut wavy lines. Just cut them. Ought to send this one to Cindy Utter. Make her into a paper clip and send her to Cindy because Cindy has purple hair. I don't think I have Cindy's new address, though. I'll have to get in contact with her. I just cut away. If the paper starts getting in my way, I'll just cut it out of my way and just get down to a form I can deal with here. All right, so this is the back of her hair. So you just turn her over and match that up with that, like so. And you see, you don't see the little collar bit that's not, showing anymore. And I just put glue all over this. Let's see, probably got enough here. Do you guys want me to make a smaller doll, or do you think you can figure out how to make them smaller? I would have to shoot from the hip to come up with the pattern, but these are so much fun to make. Once you get your first pattern made, you can make more and more of them. I didn't mean to get that there. And I'm not gluing down the where it's cut up and down. I'm leaving that so it looks really a lot like hair. So there she is. And once this glue dries, I don't want to ruin my marker. I'll just go along the edge of her hair up here with the marker to just darken the top of her head a little bit. Or you could use, we could use a purple marker. And I don't know if this will ruin it or not. Let's see. And just do just on the edge. That way, if any of the file is showing, it'll be colored with the marker. And now is when you could add whatever you want. You can give her a nose ring. You can pretend she's got earrings and have something hanging down. So this is the little purple girl. If you wanted, you could tie a bow with ribbon and glue it right in the center. You could put a bow in her hair. So these are the little dollies. And if you guys want to make some small ones, you can. If you want to do the whole make it into a paper clip, you just do like Beth showed the other day. Hang on, I'll get something here. Or was it not Beth, Tanya. And I've got some giant paper clips that would work perfect for this. And I think what I would do is just take a scrap of your purple from her hair and punch a circle. And then you could just turn her over and put this down here and put your blob of glue and then just put the purple circle on top. And then she'd be a paper clip. See? She's a rebel. There you go. So I might do that really. I don't know how. What's the best glue for the paper clips, you guys? I mean, would that won't work. Would E6000 be the best glue for that? You know what I have right here is Loctite super glue, professional glue, bonds skin in seconds. Okay. There's a trick to opening this. I just know it. Apparently, I don't know it. So we won't be using Loctite because Becky can't get it open. That's for paper and fabric. Hi, Hi, Violet. Tacky glue will hold it. I have tacky glue, and it doesn't stink. We just got to be patient for the shakedown because it's this huge bottle that never seems to want to give up its stuff. And I didn't get that circle punched completely down, but I think that'll actually work in my benefit because that'll give me a flat edge that is down near the bottom of the paper clip here. Got way too much. And I think I'm going to put a couple clips on her. I don't know how she'll clip with her hair in the way, but we'll see. I'll put a clip there. And one there. And I'll set it aside. And this one will be a paper clip. Okay. All right, I'm going to put my little girls back in their book. It's the whole reason I made them is for this little book. And yeah, they don't fit as good as they should because I didn't think to check the position of their arms. So some of their arms get a little pinched. So that if you're going to use them in a tiny book while you're gluing their arms on, give them a fitting in in their pockets where they're going to live so that their little fingers don't get crunched every time you close the book and their hair doesn't stick out. Of course, I guess I could give them haircuts, but that's okay. But this is the Do-Si-Do book I did with Tanya and Lisa, and I just love how this one turned out. This was the first one I made the first week because I seem to be a speed demon at things. So these are so much fun. So if you guys were interested in making a Do-Si-Do book, check out Tanya McGuire or Lisa's My Eclectic Life. We did these over a 2 hangout get together. This one was done on the 23rd, and this one was done on the is it the 7th? So yeah, that's it. I'm going to put my little dolly pattern in the bag from one of y'all's artist trading card that came today so I can make more dollies. Just put the circle in there to remind me it's an 1.5 inch circle. So I'm going to set the little girl aside to dry. And if you guys need any help with the patterns or any of that, drawing your patterns, I guess I can put kind of the measurements in the description box. And I might do a smaller one later and then maybe come back and show you how to do a tiny one that'll fit on a small paper clip or something later. That'll give me another video idea. My camera should be at the shop in Illinois right now. My little Sony camera that I do all my standalone videos. It's been flipping between video and 3D and driving me crazy. And Scott said, go ahead and send it in for repair because it cost, it would cost us less to have it reworked than to buy another camera like it. So that's why he told me to go ahead. So I did, and now I missed my camera, but she wasn't working. So I have to just be patient to hear from them. Got some stuff on here. I'll set her aside and we'll check her later. Okay? G above. Aunt back. Aunt back. Had fun. Gotta run. Thanks for sharing. Did I miss a question? Is there a question that I missed? Thanks for coming, G. Brody. So glad to see you in here. Artist trading dolls. Yeah, that would be fun. And Janet's provided a link to the do-si-dos. Good night to G. Brody. Okay, who all wants to play tonight on the kitty cat Dirty Dozen? I just think she turned out so stinking cute, and I really do want to send her to Cindy. I'll have to get with Cindy to get her address because I have her old address in New York, and that won't work. All right. So let me just move a couple things out of the way. And we're going to start with the kitty. We're doing the kitty trio, Dirty Dozen tonight. But we're going to start with a purple background. So you guys go and get your backgrounds purple. And I will go and get my purple paint on. It'll be a purple theme. I just want to put some tools away while I'm up, too. I've been going through stuff and trying to, as I finish with something, putting it away so I don't get totally out of control. And just make it fun to art again. There we go. All right. Let me grab some purple. And for anybody that was here earlier today, I was telling Scott goodbye, love you, see you later, and all that. Guess what he did? He took the key with him to the basement, so I couldn't finish the laundry. Darn, I was heartbroken. Not. Anyway, I said, well, I guess the laundry doesn't get finished today. And he said, so sorry. I said, I'm over it. All right. So get your purple on. There you go. Kathy says she's going to write them down. So I changed this from Dirty Dozen to Kitty Trio because I made a deck of Dirty Dozen cards from prompts we'd used quite a bit. And so these are just prompts that we've used in the past. And I will just draw 12 cards out. And I probably need a piece of paper to write them down too, so that I can put them in the description box after we're done. This will work. So the first thing we're going to do is get our paper purple. Purple paper. I'll use a purple pen. Start with purple. And then we'll do them one at a time. And I'm using Passion. I love Bondo spreaders. I'll cover my bees up if I'm not careful. That's all right. And I don't have a wipe-off book handy. It looks blue, but I promise you it is purple. Beth is using purple velvet. Now, if only the I know. I did the dishes. I've got what laundry that was up here in the dryer is all in a pile on the bed. So after I finish up here, because I snuck off to Goodwill again, I'll have to fold clothes, but that's okay. We can do it. Yes, we can. Bob the Builder. Yes, we do it. Yes, we can. All right. All right, I'm going to dry a little bit. And I'm thinking maybe the lighting needs to be adjusted is why it looks so not what it is. Oh, Tanya has messaged me. I can't get to it right now. Let's see. Whoa. I'm playing with settings. Sorry, guys. That's a little bit closer to what I have. So that worked out good last week. I had 3 artist trading cards to trade, and then I had 4 cards that I could make. So that worked out good. I'm going to bring you guys up a little bit because I feel like you're seeing my lip balm and everything else. There we go. That looks a little closer. It's actually a lot more purple. Yeah, it does look blue, but I assure you it's purple. Is everybody ready for the next one? Okay. All right. So the first kitty card says gold. We're going to start with gold right out the pocket. And gold on purple looks cool. So I got the bright idea today. I had 12 by 12 stencils that I never use. And I said, you know what? The reason I don't use them is because they don't store well. So what I did is I cut them apart so they'll fit in my 8.5 by 11 binder. And I think I'm going to like it a lot better. I think I will use this one. And I cut this one in 4s. Kept 2, and I'm going to give 2 away. So I need gold, and I need a sponge. That's rose gold. I might use rose gold. It says gold. It doesn't say it has to be a golden gold. So I'm going to use this one that I pulled out. And I get quiet when I start concentrating, so I need to try to do better about that. I didn't get out enough paint. We'll have to wait and see, Kathy. Kathy, I've been enjoying the pictures of your flowers on Facebook. Ours are almost gone. The azaleas are just about over. Although Scott sent me flowers on the phone. He saw some when he was out, I guess, for a walk. And there's some woods azaleas not far from where he walks, I guess. And he took a picture and he said, I sent you flowers. I guess that was making up for taking the keys to the basement, so I couldn't finish the laundry today. This needs a little bit more over here. And I go from having not enough paint out to way too much. Always have a wipe-off book. Just an old book you find at the thrift store will work. I don't like to leave the metallic paint for too long because it has a tendency of once it's there, it's there. All right, I put this back in my binder. You quit already? It's beautiful just as it is. Amy Eljohn gave me the idea. If you just stencil a portion of the stencil that goes in that pocket, that way you'll know which stencils you've misplaced by, what's on here. And so I have one single sheet of paper and I stencil the ones that go in this pocket here. And then this one's got these. And I did both the, one's a stencil, one's a mask type thing. And that was a 12 by 12. It had 3 people on it. And I just cut them apart so they'd fit in my binder. So I would not have them just running loose laying around. All right. I'm going to go throw this in the sink. I'll be right back. I'm just going to throw it in some water. Little guy must have had a rough day. He's sacked out. I put him to bed and he's sound asleep over there. All right, is everybody ready? Everybody got their gold on? Mary's ready. Okay, the next kitty card. Doodle. The next kitty card says Doodle. Prompt 2, Doodle. So I'm going to dry this because anything will get ruined on it at the moment. Trying to think, what can I doodle? All right. Let's see, what am I wanting to doodle with? I think I will just doodle. I'm going to doodle with Sharpie. Let's see if it's going through the back. No. Not this time. You didn't say what we had to make, so I just figured flowers would look good on purple. Keep in mind, I cut mine up for cards and artist trading cards. I hope everybody got their artist trading cards I've sent out over the last, couple weeks. I need to do some envelopes because it makes the postal workers extremely happy to get the envelopes. This is the most beautiful mail we ever get. So I'm like, well, if it brightens your day, I'm glad. I need to get better about announcing when I'm live because I forget to do it. And I'm just going to doodle the flowers in case we get something else later that says to do something else. And I'll have an area that I can go in and do further doodling at the end too. So I don't try to complete them all at once because there's always an opportunity going to come up later that you can fill in the space. If you fill it all up right away, then you don't have any room to grow. It's just like our studios, you know. If we try to fill them all up right away, we might miss out getting to try something new because we're already full up. Maybe I'll just put like there's like this coming here just to make it look like there's something there. All right, I'm done doodling. How about everybody else? See, this opens up a bunch of possibilities in my mind. At the end, I could come in with white gel pen and just pretend like these are mandalas and fill them in that way. But yeah. Okay, Holly says she's ready. Mary, are you still doodling? All right. Well, Holly says she's ready, so I'm going to pull a card. Add dots and dashes. Dots and dashes. So let me get a white gel pen and I will add some dots and dashes. Oh, I don't know if this is pigment ink. Let's see if it'll work. Dots and dashes. Well, I'm just going to do dots and dash. This is going to take a while. I hope this pen has enough ink to do. If not, I'll get a different one out. We'll see. I think this is my favorite. It's a Uniball Signo Broad pen. And I really like how it works. I may regret this. It might get all dissolved away on me. But only one way to find out. Oh, there I go quiet again. Sorry. It's like the rhythmic flow of dots and dashes. Really, yeah. I see something about colorful Sharpies, Becky. Well, the only problem with that is I'm afraid later on we'll come up with a prompt that adds another color, and I don't want it to look like something the cat threw up. So I'm trying to be, I'm trying to hold back because I know there's other colors and I don't want to throw the whole palette at the project at once tonight for some reason. There seems to be something on the tip. That's why I'm having to go over so many times. And since Callie gifted me with a headless mouse earlier, I don't want to try my try my luck at adding too much color at once. She might bring me something else to prove that she's the most colorful beast on the land. Scott was so funny. He walked around the back of the car. Oh, headless mouse. Walked on. It's like, okay. Oh, I meant to tell him that the other little end table and the coffee table were gone. Somebody else snatched them up when I went back out there. But our Goodwill just doesn't have much left on the shelves, and it was like nobody's doing anything to put anything more on the shelf. I don't know what's happened, if they've got a new manager in there. It's like they're not moving the donations to the sales floor. I don't know. It was odd. I thought for sure by today they would have filled them back up. And I was going to go to the other one that's closer to the house that doesn't usually have much, except they have a good selection of books. But then I stopped at World Market and picked up sugar-free popsicles because that's something we like as a treat in the warmer months. And of course, with something frozen, I couldn't stop and dawdle around in a Goodwill. I'll do this and give Mary a chance to catch up. Okay. What I really like to do with the dots and dashes is use them as a border around artist trading cards. I think it just adds a little something to cards and artist trading cards. Now, see those little dolls? If you wanted to, you could doodle atop the painty papers too. Maybe do a tiny mandala dress. Wouldn't that be cute? If you did a mandala up about the same as the height of the dress, and then just traced your little dress pattern out, you come up with an interesting section of the mandala. I might have to try that out on a piece of this stuff. Maybe I'll do that for the tiny dolls and do it as a video. I'm going to try to learn how to do videos with just my webcam. And I have a larger camera that I like to take pictures with, but it has a video option on it too. I just need to learn how to use it while I'm waiting for my baby to come back to me. Uh-oh, I'm losing track of what I'm doing. Dots for dashes. I did. We did a little purple-haired doll here. Did it at the beginning. Everybody wanted to do the dolly first, and I've turned her into a paper clip. I'm letting it dry right now, but we gave her purple hair like Cindy Utter. So I'm going to try to send that to Cindy. But I think I'm going to do a standalone video on a much smaller doll. I've just got to work out the pattern and everything so I can give you all instructions on how to create the pattern. I'm getting there. Bear with me, guys. And I opened Happy Mail from a whole bunch of people earlier today when I did the thrift haul and the Happy Mail. And I thank everybody. All right, now look and see if I'm getting white on my arm. And you know, things like this, if you do it and you actually do something over top of it that makes it disappear, you can always go back in later and put your lines back in. What would be nice if add yellow comes up, because then you could give the flowers a yellow center. But we'll see what happens. Right, we're getting there. Just a couple more to go, and I'll have dots and dashes on all of them. And then I'll pick the next prompt, and we'll be good to go. The pen is finally letting down a little bit smoother. So for anybody that's following the story of my husband's uncle and cousin, they did a little background on Scott's mother and her brother and their family growing up in the house where the murders happened in the garage. And that came up on murdersetc.com. It's a podcast. And the story is developing in a whole different direction and that the family always thought. So it's been interesting learning as an outsider looking in at Scott's family, even myself. I mean, because this happened in 1975 and I was an 11-year-old, little girl then, and Scott was just a teenager. But we are hoping that some real answers can come out of this reporter's search for answers. So that's why I keep sharing the links to Murder, etc. All right, that one, I don't mind if you come in and introduce yourself and get to know us before you're asking for people to sub your channel, because this is a craft channel and we don't need somebody coming in and, no. So sorry. This is not that type of channel where you just pop in to get subbies. You have to be part of the community for us. I don't mind people that come and watch and participate and stuff. say, hey guys, I'm trying to build my channel. That's one thing. But to just pop in and say, sub my channel over and over, that's a little annoying. Not ours either. Now that we know more about what happened, Kathy, we feel so bad for Charles Wakefield. And we ran into him once, and Scott apologized. And, Scott and I were both kids back when that happened. And it was just horrible how he got roped in. But Scott said today, after we listened to not the one from yesterday, the bonus, but the last actual show that they did, and had a YouTube video up of it, and they showed the sketch that somebody had given. Scott said that he thinks the way that drawing looked, it looked like a white person dressed in blackface. And so we're thinking that it was somebody, we don't know if it was somebody in the department, because back then the department had a lot of issues, or if it was part of that drug gang. But we are leaning toward the fact that we're thinking it was somebody dressed up as a black person to frame Charles Wakefield. And that really burns us up. It really ticks us off, because that guy had a wife. Charles had a wife and a small child, and he was sent to prison for his life. And it took all we could do, after we learned more of the facts from Charles's lawyer and this reporter, that we stood up for him as the extended family and said, please give him parole. He does not belong there. So that's just my input on it as an, outsider, really myself looking in. There could have been a whole lot of doubt. Reasonable doubt would not have been a problem. I mean, he didn't look anything like the drawing. He was helping his family shampoo carpet that day. It was just like you said, Kathy, he was railroaded. It really sickens me. And you'd hope that things were better now. You really would hope. But still, there's still that crazy mess going on. And, prejudice is horrible. I hate it. I'm so glad I raised my son to see everybody as equals and not think because somebody's of a different race that they're less than you. I never let Greg think that way. And he and his best friend used to get the cops called on them all the time, because it was a white boy with a black boy. And, that's just trouble. That's just trouble. People would call the cops on him, and Greg would come in and he'd say, we got stopped because we were walking along the road. They said the cops got called because they were suspicious characters. Drives me nuts. Greg's a big guy. His best friend is a big guy as far as height-wise. They're not, neither one of them excessively heavy or anything. They're just really tall. And, I guess they look suspicious. Two sweeter guys you'd never meet, ever. I don't get it. Jason and Greg are awesome. Jason calls me his other mama, and Greg calls Jason's mom his other mama. And when Greg came home from A school for Christmas, Jason's mom snuck and picked him up at the airport and surprised me because we didn't think he'd be in until way late at night. And the little devil showed up earlier, and he got his friend's mom to pick him up. I said, "You rat." And Marv was just laughing. She was just laughing. She thought it was hilarious. But anyhow, that's enough on that. Get me on a roll. Anyway. It's all in the raisin, isn't it, Mom Munson? Yeah, see, I just don't. People like that come in, Beth, I just hide them from my channel so that they're not causing problems. I think when you check a channel and they've only got one or two, they just have that channel to go around and make trouble for people. So that's why I just block them and get them out. Yeah, I think so too, Kathy. There is a website. Okay, Mary's ready. I'll pull another card. But there's a website. It's called Murders, Etc. And it is the story of Scott's uncle and cousin's murder. Scott's cousin was the top narcotics officer in Greenville, South Carolina, and he was murdered alongside his father in their garage one night. Or one day. I'm not sure what time of day it occurred. Like I said, I'm outside looking in. I'm going to pull another card. Oh, I don't want to do this one. I'll share it with you guys and let you guys decide. Add a face. Add a face. Do you guys want to add a face, or you want me to pick another one? No? Okay, we'll slide that one down toward the bottom. That one's more of like if we're not going to chop it up. That's like if we wanted to do like a journal page. All right. Okay. Doodle with 3 different markers. Doodle with 3 different markers. Is everybody okay with that one? Doodle with 3 different markers. You guys okay with it then? I'm going to go with it. If somebody wants a different one, I can pull you another one, but I'm going to go with what I got here. I'm going to do these 2 different purples and maybe this pink. And I'm not really going to doodle. I'm just going to add color here and there. I know, cheater. Well, Kathy, this is true. This is true. If somebody missed it, Kathy says it doesn't say it has to be 3 different colors. It just says 3 different markers. So if you wanted to use like a fine tip, a brush tip, and a broad tip, black, go for it. Looks like we're going to do a lot of doodling. It's like we're on Mary's show. Doodly doo doo doodly doo. Sorry, concentrating again. I am so bad about that. I just get in the zone and go to town. And it also didn't say I couldn't doodle on the lines that I previously doodled on, right? Bet Linda McAllister's starting to get ready for her trip over here. She's going to be out in the Midwest and West, traveling around with Penn in a camper. It sounds like fun, but I don't know if I'd want to drive a camper around. Whoops. I guess it would save money because you'd have where you're going to go to sleep would be right there. I think that's all of them. That's only the second marker. Hi, Susan. I think I'm going to just do this one. You can't even see. Let's switch to a black. Not that one. That's the brush tip, and I don't want to use the brush tip. This is my last one, so I'll be ready as soon as I go around each of these, and I'll be pulling the next prompt. If I can remember, I will put a link to the Murder Etc. website for anybody else that's interested in the story of Scott's family and the tragedy that they withstood in the 70s. Oops. Because the more people that know it and are following it, somebody might have some answers. It'd be nice if we could get some real answers before Scott's mom passes on, and she's 91 now. So it would be nice if we could get to the bottom of it and get some real answers for us and for Charles. I'm really hoping we pull yellow, because if we don't, I'm going to put some other bright color right in the middle of these. We'll see. Oh, I think this is the last one, and I'm going to pull the next prompt. And don't worry if you haven't finished with all three. You could always go in, after we finish and add some more with your third option or whatever. Thank you, Janet. Okay, I'm ready. Is anybody else ready? I'm going to get a sip of water while I wait to see if anybody else is ready. Mina's in the house. Christy's in the house. All right, Holly says ready and Mary says ready. So I'm going to pull the next one. Add fiber or lace. I'm going to do this, but I'm going to wait till I've cut this apart. So I'm holding this one. So I am going to do this, and then when I cut these into cards or whatever, I will use the add fiber and lace, okay? Add fiber or lace. Is everybody wanting to hold that to the end? Can I pull another one? Or do you want me to wait and y'all can use it now? Holly says no. Holly, do you want just another prompt entirely? Okay. Add purple with a stencil is an alternate. Alternate. Add purple with a stencil. I'll put the alternates down here. Add purple with a stencil. All right, so I've got holds and then the add purple with a stencil. So I'm going to hold fiber and lace, and I've given an alternate. Do you guys want to wait until the alternates are done, or do you want me to pull the next prompt and they can just do it when they get done with their purple stenciling? I'll leave that decision up to you guys. Monday, when we got up in the morning, I forgot and left my Flonase in the computer bag. So I didn't use it Monday, and Tuesday I had such a wicked headache yesterday. It was unreal, the amount of pain I was in all day. It's because my sinuses were blocked up. All right, I'm going to pull another one. Or the ones that are holding, are you going ahead and doing the purple stencil? Or do you want another one to go to for number 6? I'm going to pull another one. This one says use blue. All right, Sharon's doing the stencil one. So after you finish with your stencil, use blue, and then I will wait until everybody's done with prompt 6. That way I can be working on something while y'all are finishing up. So when you're done with your purple with a stencil add some blue and just tell me done with blue, and then I know to go on with the next thing. Let me go get some blue of some sort. I think I'm going to use that real dark blue. Let's see here. This is called Ultra Blue Deep. And I think I'll use this. This has not even been opened. So I've got to open this. That'll slow me down. Christy, I do not think any of what I opened was from you today. I don't think. Let me see. I can look real quick. That'll give everybody else a chance to catch up too. I got an opened earlier on camera envelope from Peg Robinson, Kathy, Whitney, Janet, Gail, Journey, and Cheryl. So, y'all, I opened your mail earlier today. But, Christy, I hadn't seen any from you yet. I keep stalking the mailman. She brought my kit from Lisa today. She actually brought it up to the door, not just throwing it out on the side of the road, or on the front porch, but not underneath the cover like the guy does down at the other house. I will miss this mail lady when we move out and on. Probably bouncing, you guys. Sorry about that. I'll let you know when it comes, Christy. I'm hoping everybody's gotten theirs from me. And I hope I've remembered everybody. I'm going to fix one of these up for Peg because I don't know if I could not remember if in my group, Lisa's group, and in Tanya's group, in the file section, there is a place that you can list addresses. Mine is in there. I think when we get settled in our next permanent home, I'm going to get a P.O. box for YouTube mailings. That way, if we have to go out of town or anything, the mail is already, someplace secure and I don't have to worry about some crazy mailman dumping it. Whoop. I'm going to turn this. And the reason I'm doing some off the edges is because I will be cutting this up. So I want a little something. And I'm trying to mix up the directions so I can make greeting cards and artist trading cards out of the same sheet of stuff. And this is a paper stencil, so I never clean it because it would not stand up to being, soaked in water. So I just set it aside and let it dry. And the more you use it, the stiffer it gets. So it's almost a good idea to use them. Maybe put just a little touch of the blue on the corner. Maybe this over here. When I get finished with this, I'm just going to sit and wait till everybody tells me they've got their blue on, and then we'll go to the next prompt. We're getting into that portion of the game where if you don't like a prompt and you don't want to use it, just let me know and I'll draw you an alternate, and I'll write the alternates down. So this needs to be just set aside. Mom months and above. Okay. All right. I'll add you to with Peg Robinson. So I'll have one more that I can put in a package. Because I always like to keep one out of each session for myself for in my binder so I can remember. Right. Okay. Mom Munson, I can't remember if we're friends on Facebook or not, but we could message each other. Oh, Journey doesn't have she can't get to files. Sometimes I think I ought to get an iPad just so I can see what you guys see, because I can share the file that they are in the group, and you could find it that way, I think. I've done that before, and I think that worked. All right, Sharon says she is ready. Is everybody else that's playing near ready with their blue? Because that's prompt 6, and it's already after 9 o'clock. Yeah, I don't know what an iPad looks like either, Kathy. That's why I'm no help. I'm getting several ready, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the next one for prompt 7. And it says, use texture paste. Use texture paste. If you need an alternate, let me know. Is everybody okay with the use texture paste? See, I've got... Mary wants an alternate. Okay, an alternate. Use a Sharpie. That's an alternate. Will that one work, Mary, or you want me to pull you another alternate? That's okay. Okay. Trying to decide what I want to add. Okay, I'm going to use these little squares. I think I'm going to use this Brer Reese Glossy Dimensions in this intense blue on here. Oh, I didn't get a palette knife. Hello. Hi, Dawn. Dawn Boss. I had envelopes for Cynthia Ham and Dawn Boss on my table, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to pop some extra bits in there and send them off. They're already addressed, so I might as well send them some goodies. So I sent Happy Mail to them. Cynthia was in here earlier and said she got hers, and Dawn had told me she got hers a little bit ago. I like to just do real Happy Mail where it's a total surprise if I can. Because we all like to get a little something that we weren't expecting in the mail. I know I do. It makes for a whole better day. Uh-oh. All right. Oh, there's a glob that went running amok here. All right. Set that over out of the way to dry a little bit. I'm probably going to need to use the heat gun on that to get it to do. Somewhere I have a wet one. There we go. Oh, ouch. I was, Sonia Steptoe and Jerry Bellini have both done videos on slow stitching. And we were in World Market last time we were in Columbia. And I think that's, or was that, no, it was in the one at Greenville. It was last week. We went for coffee. But they had a giant, one of those giant floor pillows to sit on, you know, if you're watching TV or whatever. And it was all done with slow stitched, maybe 8 by 10 squares with the slow stitching and then pieced together. And I really, really like that. So I might do that. And I think I have some really pretty corduroy pieces in my stash somewhere. I don't know if I have them here or down at the house. But I thought what a cool floor pillow that would make. I'm going to go throw this in the sink. But that's a project I'd love to do. Okay, that was prompt 7. Got 5 to go. So glad I got the dishes done early tonight so I don't have to stand there and wash them. I do miss my dishwasher, but there's no room here in this little house for a dishwasher at all. You don't have room enough to, as Scott says, cuss a cat in this kitchen. All right, I'm going to dry this. Yeah, getting those needles threaded is a major undertaking. Good enough. I think. All right. I like that one, Susan. So when I get it ready, I'll pull a card. I think this is dry enough. It's still a little tacky. If I don't get too crazy, I should be all right. We definitely need another color in here, whether it's yellow or Mom Munson says she's ready. Texture paste is tricky because you got to give it just enough time And remember, we've got the one that we've held back till after we cut it up is to add the fiber or the lace. I think I'll put that in a separate pile so I don't forget to do it. I've written it down as prompt 5, but you know. All right, here we go. Add an image of a living thing. I am not going to do that. I'm going to pick an alternate. Add tissue paper. So the prompt was add an image of a living thing. And the alternate was add tissue paper. All right, so I'm going to do the add tissue paper. So I got to go get the stuff to do that with. And I think I'm going to add it, instead of tissue paper, I might add a napkin. It depends on what I come to first. In my bag of stuff. Well, I found tissue paper, so I'll use tissue paper. Remember the brush that was stiff as a board? This has been soaking in Murphy's oil soap, and it's back to a subtle brush. I was just amazed at that. All right, I'll keep this piece. All right, let's see what do we got here. I'm going to use this Americana decoupage for napkins and see if it'll hold tissue paper. I would think it would. I mean, this thing, I could go like that and it would have went thud, thud, thud. It was so full of old glue. So, let's see what we got here. I'll speak again here in a minute. Way too fast. It's 25 miles an hour in this neighborhood. When I hear them coming like that up the road, they're already at like 45 miles an hour. I wish I could hit a button and put up tire puncture strips. Oh. Even the guys that working on the house next door, they were like, man, there's a lot of people go really fast up that street. I was like, yeah, and it's only not even a quarter-mile street, and there's a stop sign just down the road. So after they build up all that speed, they immediately have to come to a halt. You'd think with the gas prices as crazy as they are right now, everybody would be trying to conserve and not smash the gas to the floor and send all that fuel just into the air. You'd think. We got gas prices all over the place. The place closest to the house was $2.39. So Scott filled up because he said it was fixing to go up again. And today it's $2.55 at the other places near the house. So I was like, well, you weren't kidding about it jumping up. Christy, you're too sweet to us. All right. Getting quite the pile of materials next to me again. All right, I'm going to dry this so I can cut those edges off. You know, some of them are in their 20s and 30s that come flying by. And some are older than that. Some are over senior citizens and retired, and they're in second childhood sports cars. But, you know, we've got pets and children that go, you know, are in the road riding bicycles and just crossing the street that, like my kitties, I worry about them, but they're so used to going in and out. I don't know how they'd handle being kept in, and this house is just too small to keep them in. They would just drive us crazy. All right, cool. Trim these away. Wow. Usually our gas prices are below the national average. So we're fortunate in that, but it still puts a hurt on the budget when, you know, you're having to pay extra from what you had been paying. I'm just trimming off my tails. I could wait till the very end, but I figure while I'm sitting here waiting, I could do it. for a ready. You got 285 on Long Island? This is really getting wonky. Yeah, I think the highest I saw today when I was out and about was 255 in the Greenville, South Carolina area. So, ooh, 305 is cheapest in California. Yeah, see, it's going to go up. When I was working and Scott was working and it was at the worst of the recession and gas was like $3 and something, almost $4 a gallon here, because we were both working and both had really good paying jobs, it didn't seem to affect us as much. But now that I'm not working, you know, every little change affects us, that's for sure. Yeah. If I could still cope with stress like I did when I was younger, I would go back to work, but I just can't do it anymore. I mean, I came close to a nervous breakdown, so that was enough. I had to say enough is enough. Wow. Cynthia says it's 365 in Vancouver, Washington. Oh, Lisa has to go. Okay, hon. Get some ice. Keep ice on there. Keep the swelling down in those knees and ankles. I hope she can feel really good tomorrow because her Thursdays are her full days of being on the road. I remember that those days you had certain days where you had to have a kid to this course, that course, or some event. When you homeschool, you are it. I remember. I'm interested to see where this is going to go in the last few prompts. It's got an interesting texture with the texture paste and now the tissue, and it looks blue, but I assure you the background is a nice royalish purple. It's actually purple passion. But thank you, Lynn. I should have filled my water up when I was in the kitchen. Let's see how many steps I've gotten in. 7.2K. The dirty paintbrush is here. While I'm waiting, let's see how our little pocket doll is doing. She's got glue coming out her head. We'll have to fix that. It'll dry clear, but it's a big old glob. It's getting there. But that's the little dolly we did at the beginning. She's got purple hair, and we turned her into a paper clip so she can clip on a page. She's still not totally dry, so I don't want to maneuver her too much, but she's so cute. I don't like the way the clips gave her a pointed head, but I might can fix that by just shading with a marker in a little bit. Everybody still working on the tissue paper or whatever we had before that? Oh, add an image. That's the 9:30. It's 9:30. All right, Holly's ready. Is everybody ready? I remember Mimi. Okay, I'm going to pull the next one. Add numbers. Add numbers is prompt 9. Add numbers. And I'm going to use the same stamp I did the other day. Well, actually, I have a couple different ones of number stamps. Let me grab them. The poor little guy really had a rough day. He's out hard here on the chair next to me. That's not what I want. This is. Let's see here. I have this one and the 1, 2, 3. And I'll just use them both. And I need ink. It stays on jet black. Oh, well, I don't have. I'm just going to use my fingers. Got one of Tippy's hairs stuck in it. Mary would like an alternate. Okay. Drip paint down the page. Mary said, "Oh, okay." The main reason I'm stamping on the white is because I figured it'll be the most visible place for the numbers to show up. I think I got this set of numbers at Tuesday morning. It came with these, and it came with a couple others that had like the ampersand and things like that on it. Thank you. I think that's going to be it on those. I need to add that's the fourth alternate. It was drip paint down page. Let me get my scrubby over here. It's Mark in the house. Mark's in the house. Ouch. And that blue eyeshadow, that was definitely Mimi. 10, 11, 12. We have just 3 more to go. I'm getting definitely messy tonight. Hi, Sherry. Excuse me. Good grief. All right, Mom Munson says she's ready, so I'm going to go ahead and pull the next prompt, which will be prompt 10. Add punched shapes or die cuts. Punched shapes or die cuts. That's another one. I'm going to hold it and the add fiber or lace until the end, and I will punch out some gold butterflies to add to my artist trading cards and the cards that it'll go. So I'm going to hold those 2 till the end. Mary says she's going to hold 2. So I'm going to go ahead and pick number 11, or is everybody else going to go ahead and do it now? Do you want to hold it, or like Mary and I, or do you want us to wait, or can I pull another one? Things like die cuts and stuff like that, I like to hold and add as the, oh, your page is sopping wet from dripping. Pull another one, and you're going to hold, okay. Ooh, this is going to be good. Stencil with white. Stencil with white. Now remember, you do not have to cover the entire page with white. You just have to stencil a portion of it with white. So, all right, let's see what we got here. Pull the stencils up. I want to use some out of my big book tonight because I haven't been using them enough. I always loved the screen, and that would look pretty with lace and a butterfly later. So I'm going to use that one. This was part of a recollection set, I think. I think I have another sponge here, but I don't have any white paint over here. This is where I need to know which directions these are going to go here. All right. I'm going to do the screen this way and hope I can get all of my cards and ATCs out of this the way I want. Whoa. I always think I get too much, but then it seems to be just enough. Although I don't know, that's an awful lot of white. See, I just love what white does to dark colors. And some of that will bleed on through, I think, because it's so dark. All right, I think I'm going to leave that just like that. And I do have way too much white out. So, give me this purple piece of paper. We'll just do white on here. That would be pretty if I had a hunk of lace, but I was just going to use just lace trim on my, just a little piece on my cards and stuff at the end. And so you get different effect if you do a swipey motion than you do a pouncy motion. See? Cool beans! All right, there's that. We only have one more prompt here, and if y'all still want to play way late into the night, Stacy's getting ready to come on to do her mixed media mashup over at Pink Poodle Crafts. But we got one more prompt here, and I'm going to chop mine up for artist trading cards and some greeting cards. Cheryl, I did that yesterday after I got done with Lisa and Tanya. I climbed in the recliner and passed out, and it really helped my headache. So if I was kind of out of it yesterday, it's because my head was killing me. So Mary, are you still a sopping mess from dripping and now stenciling? I think mine's close enough to being dry that I can do my last prompt. So when you guys are ready, just give a holler. And then we'll just go back and I'll do those other ones, the add punched shapes or die cuts. All of the flowers disappeared except this one right here. Yes, she's good. Okay. I'm going to pull the last prompt, you guys. And then we can go from there, okay? Add a napkin. I'm going to say add a napkin or add swirls. So whichever of those you want to do. Doesn't say they have to be huge swirls. Let's see if I can get anything out of this painty pen. Because I definitely don't want to add a napkin since I've already got tissue paper down there. You smashed your drips because you didn't like them. Okay. We'll let you do that. All right. I got swirls. They're not all as strong as the others, but they'll work. The pretty flowers are gone. I don't know if I can even see them to even try to bring them back. Remember, you can go in and do whatever you want at the end. See, that's the danger with mixed media. You don't know what the next step will have you bury. But if you go back in, sometimes you can bring them back to the front just with a few little tracings around. And you can see I lost my dotty lines too, my dots and dashes somewhat. But because of the dots and dashes, I can kind of still see where the petals used to be. I can't tell where the things are. I think I put that petal, the last one, in the wrong place. Yeah, because that's supposed to be there. It's all right. And I think that's my center. And that's the outer ring. Trying to figure out where they are. I'll look at chat here in just a sec. Did I get them all? I can't, no. I think there's one here. All right, good night, Journey. It's Pink Poodle Crafts. I can't put the link, but she's on right now. That's Stacy. All right, I'm going to cut mine up So I want them to face this way. 2.5 and 2.5 is 5. So I'm going to cut a 5-inch piece this way. And then I can trim this down to 2.5. And then do 3.5 this way. Might flip this and so I have more flour on here. 3.5, and then that can be used to make a tiny card for just an insert. Okay, and then what am I left with here? What is this measurement here? Because I need to cut this in half in each direction. Let's see. This is almost 7. So 3.5, and then come back one tiny little mark from 3.5, and that'll have this in half or close to it. Right? Is that right? Yep. And then this way is 9, so 4.5. So 3.5 by 4.5 will make a pretty neat card. So I'll have some greeting cards too. 3.5 by 4.5. All right. And I'd like to pull my die cut machine up here, and that gives me 2 little pieces for tiny cards. But I have a die for a nice big butterfly that I'd like to do for the cards, and then I'll do some smaller ones. Now these are not thick enough for me for ATC, so I'll mount them on some of my cat food divider cardboard. I'll do that first, and then I'll get the die cutting machine out real quick. Piece of that cardboard, that's what I need. That's not it. That's something else. I have a stack. Oh, Becky. Duh. Okay. And some tacky glue, which I put away. Let's see. That was right on the microphone, so y'all got that loud and clear. Okay, Cynthia, that's fine. Y'all have fun. Tell Stacy I said hi. I haven't been able to participate in her mixed media mashup in a long time. I'm toast after I'm done on here. I don't know how you guys are doing so many different collabs and video hops and all of that. I don't know. I guess because I'm expending so much energy on home remodeling, I just don't have much left for the fun stuff right now. It just seems to be all work for Scott and I right now. And what I do is I put them on here, and then I'll put them under a heavy book while I work on cutting out the butterflies with the die cut machine. I don't know if you guys want to sit and watch me die cut, but that's what I'm going to do. And I bought some of that really shiny mirrored gold paper last time I was at Hobby Lobby, I think it was. So I have the perfect paper for this. Yeah, I can't do it all. I have to accept the fact I just can't do it all. So I do the best I can with the time I have. Now, I tell you what, since I've started back to walking and we're really watching what we eat, I have more energy. All that pre-made stuff is just not good for us. It's really not. I think the chemicals in the food is what's making us all sick with different ailments, to be honest. I think I was healthier when I was on the farm and we grew everything we ate. I mean, we went to the store and bought flour and sugar and yeast and things like that. And my grandmother made the bread we ate. We never bought ready-made bread growing up. And now Scott and I, we don't eat any bread unless we're out. Like today we went and we got hot dogs and hamburgers. He got some hot dogs and I had a hamburger. And what I should have done is took the hamburger off the hot dog, thrown the bun in the trash, and I would have been better off. Because it was one of those Hawaiian buns that are really sweet. Those are like the worst thing for a diabetic. I haven't checked my blood sugar yet tonight. For supper, I just had a little cup of fruit and a couple pieces of cheese. And that was my supper tonight because I ate so many carbs at lunchtime. But I'm so tired by the time Scott gets home, I'm ready to go climb in bed and he's, still wide awake and he wants to check his email and all that. So the only time we get to see each other with him being on second is that time from the time he wakes up till he has to leave for work. And today it was really short because we slept way late. All right, these need to go under a book or something. I'll put it under my stencil holder book right here on the floor. All right. I've got to make a little room so that I can get the machine up here. I have a sidekick or something like that. Is it a sidekick or a big kick? Or it's by Sizzix, I think. Or I don't know. I forgot. I just know I have it and I like that it works when it works. I will try to make sure I get these prompts into the description box for anybody that's watching the replay and wants just the prompts. That's no problem to do either. Purple. I think I can. I'm grabbing the cardstock for the cards while I'm over there. So I'll set those on the chair. And I need the machine. Okay. Bear with me just a minute, guys. And I will cut some butterflies out. Let's see, I need four big butterflies, and I'm going to need some little ones. This has been down on the floor, you can tell. All the debris from the table has hit it. Excuse me. Oh, I've got just one plug left. Here, let's try this. Okay. Is that going to do? Yes. All right. This will freak the camera out, so give me just a sec to... Can't believe this stuff costs what it does, but it does a really good job. I'm going to put it face down for right now so that it doesn't completely trip the machine out. I have yet to add the kitty cats to my tree of life. I need to do that sometime too. I need more room. I need more room. I think they're in here, the ones I would use. Yes, here we go. Let's see. I got these on clearance at Hobby Lobby for $3.25. It's normally $13. They are Momenta's cutting plates, butterflies. And the instructions said never load more than 3 dies at a time on here. So that's what we're going to do. And the pictures on the pad tells you which plates to use. So these are the thin ones. So I'm going to use everything. I think I'm going, well, this is going to trip the camera out until I get done. I want 4 this size. If I can get them. That's still got a little tape on them. And you can take and put a piece of washi tape to hold it in place. You know, you just tape it down. And then push it until it engages. You know, until you get some resistance. And then crank or push your button. Let's see if it did it. Oh, it did. It cut it all the way through. I think. There we go. I just need to get it up off the plate. My lower plate is just got so many grooves in it. You see, it holds everything. So I want 4 like this. And you got to get this up before you do another one when your plate's this horrible. Where's that palette knife I was using? And I can scrape this off into the trash. Where'd the trash go? All right. And the reason that the die is sticking to the plate is because it's still got a little of the packaging adhesive to it. Scott bought this for me for birthday or something. It took me a long time to get one, and then Michael's had the vintage crank one. It went to clearance for like $25, and I got it, but I loaded it with too much stuff, and it broke. So that's when I got this one. You just have to save your peonies here and there. You can get it eventually. Or put it on your Amazon wish list, and maybe somebody will surprise you with it. My family loves the Amazon wish list. It's like their go-to. Scott loves it because then he doesn't have to, he just has to go and find the list. He doesn't have to think too hard about what all to get. I hope that's on there good enough. Uh-oh. See if I can get that loose. That tape's pretty strong. Okay. That one just needs to be poked out. All right, so I've got the 4 this size. So I'm going to put that back on here. And then I want artist trading card size. And I think this one's going to do, I think this one would be too big. So I'll do some this size too. Do them on this part. You can. You can. And the wax paper does help. It's just, I can get it loose. Oh, that's not on there. Yeah. I just always have used the tap method. It just usually pops them right out. And it doesn't hurt anything to smack them around. Might annoy you guys, but and see, I've still got a bunch of space. I could cut some of that other side size, but I'm only cutting what I need tonight. But I do save all of that. And so you could use the negative of this. Just cut this into a strip, or just a couple of them, and put black or some painty paper behind it, and you'd have a really pretty thing. I can't remember what that's called. All right. Yeah, I made a little deck of prompt cards, and I had my little homemade stamp that I just stamped 3 times on each card and made the little kitty cards. They were fun to make. But anybody can make their own prompt deck. I mean, you could just visit a couple of us and write the prompts down, and there you've got prompts to add to your list the prompts that you want to use. Oh. Okay. I know you're not supposed to do that, but I did it. You're still working on your do-si-do book? I made little girl dollies, and we made one together tonight. And I turned her into a paper clip. I'm going to send her to Cindy Utter because she's got purple hair like Cindy. All right, so got those. Here are the card backs. Now, because I'm using these butterflies on these cards, what I could do is I could cut mats to go behind my Dirty Dozen prompt session. I could do a gold mat behind them to tie in the gold of the butterfly. But I'm going to use black because that's what I do. And the black paper's pennies compared to the cost of the gold pieces. Where is the Becky? It's okay. I can tell it's getting late because my brain's not working as clearly as it does earlier in the day. I keep forgetting to cut some gears out for Barb Filion. I've got the Tim Holtz gear die there, and I was going to cut her out some gears. So now the fun job of getting all these little bits out is, this one's not too bad. And a pokey tool would be handy. I need that little brush thing where you just run it back and forth across. That would really help. It's a Tim Holtz tool, I think. Let's see, I get that on there. It'll be real pretty. I just got to get all that stuff out of there. And the pokey tool, it's gotten shoved down in. There we go. Sorry, guys. All right. Yeah, Tanya's been kicking her own fanny today, shoveling red clay around. We have that here in South Carolina's upstate too, and I hate it because it stains your clothes. And if we get out in it too much, I'll take those clothes and wash them by themselves so I don't stain everything else that was in the laundry. There's not as much of the red clay down in Columbia as there is up here near the mountains. Down in Columbia at the house, it's mostly sandy loam. The red soil is actually got more nutrients in it than the sandy soil. So it makes for a better garden. It's just you got to learn how to garden in it because you cannot garden when it's wet or you'll turn your entire garden to cement. If you try to work red clay when it's wet, it gets really hard. I don't want to bore you guys to death poking out the little bits, but it is what it is. It's what you got to do to get the job done. I have used wax paper, and it does make the little pieces pop out easier. Can you imagine sitting and trying to figure out where all these pieces went and lay them into a different color? There's a lady on YouTube that does that. She puts all the little teeny pieces back in, and I'm like, oh, not me. I don't mind a puzzle, but that's too many pieces. All right, so that's what that'd look like. And see, if I put the gold behind it, it would give me a sweet little gold edge. That might actually be really pretty. I just don't like to use the gold for that because it's $1.99 a sheet. Yeah, that's what I want. I want one of those little roller brushes because it looks like he just goes and then they all just pop out. Because basically you just need something that's going to push along. I don't think I have anything that's anything similar to that. The thing about the pokey tool is I'm always worried about stabbing myself with it because that little booger's sharp. Oh, that's why I'm having trouble. This is the one that had the label in the corner where I cut it. I know they have to put the label on it, but man. Yeah, the Cuttlebug, isn't the Cuttlebug the least expensive die cutting machine? And it would cut these little dies like this. It's like my son keeps talking about wanting to move up north or out west or something, but every time we go down, he's ordered stuff from Amazon, and we tried to say, you know, if you saved that money instead of spending it. But, you know, when you're in your 20s and 30s, you think you have to have, you know, everything and anything under the sun, and you don't understand delayed gratification. Although we have got him to where he's got a retirement account set up, so that's a bonus. At least he's saving for his future. Because I told him by the time you retire, there probably won't be any Social Security. All right. So this is probably about as much fun as watching paint dry. Let me see. Let's see about getting one of the smaller ones cleaned out so you guys can see what it looks like. And these are the ones I'll use on the artist trading cards. And Mom Munson, and I think I owe Peg Robinson an artist trading card. So I'll have one left that I can swap somebody. Oh, good night, Mary. What time is it getting to be? 10:30 for me. I just wanted to show you guys what these will look like. I might finish these off camera so you guys can get on with your evenings and get ready for bed or jump over to the next person that's live. I just wanted to show you what these look like. And I need to research a quote. See, when I make an artist trading card, I go like on Pinterest and I'll look up different quotes about like butterflies or spring or whatever. And then I save them and I put them in a Word document. And then I can just print them off in any size font or whatever I want. And have my own words or phrases. All right, so let's cut one of these out and I'll just show you guys. What it will look like with a butterfly on it. And then I think I'll let you guys go. All right, so I'll put this size butterfly on the artist trading card and then put a quote down. And then sometimes I'll do like with a glitter pen or something, I'll give the butterfly a swirly gig type little trail. So that's what I got tonight. We did the Dirty Dozen and we did the little girl. And if you want to know how to make these, you have to go back to the beginning after it has time to process. And let's fix her hair. I think she's dry enough now that I could probably come in with a different shade of purple or something and give her some little hairs. And see if you go from the front to the back piece, it just blends the fact that there's two pieces layered together away. And then on the back, just come up here. I should have probably drawn her hair before I put the paper clip on. Lesson learned, draw the hair first. It's getting on the paper clip too, but I guess that's okay. Oh, I got a little bit on her arm. I need to be more careful. And then you can come in with just a plain fine liner after that sets up and put more individual hairs and it'll look even cuter. So there she is. I don't know if I could do it on the front already or not. Let's see. I was going to sign off, but now I'm having fun doing this. This is a brush tip, but if you're just hold back and just do just the tip of it, it gives you some really nice fine lines. Just give her some. Whoops. That went on her dress a little bit, but nobody needs to know. Good enough. Now, if you put her hands so they were above her head, I would switch them so the thumb was in the right orientation, but you could put it like she was holding a banner or something if you wanted to. But I think she turned out pretty cute. And then she's got her blonde sisters are in the little book that I made. Let's see. Did the paper clip dry? It's not totally dry. But it's not coming out. I'm not pulling it really hard, but it's not moving. So, the only problem with clipping her is her hair. But look, she clips. She could be peeking over the page. Let's see how she looks in my little journal. Let's find a page to clip her on in here. If I find something that's a little bit sturdy, like this cardstock right here. Look. I'm going to make some of these to include with the two little, the mini flow journals. I'll include a couple little dollies. I'll make some more. They are fun to make. So whoever wins the small one and whoever swaps with me will get a little girl. And I'll probably put them on paper clips just because I think that's cute how they sneak up over the top of the book. So anyhow, I hope you guys had fun, and I will finish these off camera. So I have all but one given away, and I could send, I have one more ATC to give away and 2 greeting cards. So if anybody would like to swap an artist trading card or just receive a greeting card from me, I just need to know who all would be interested. I only have 2 cards and 1 ATC. So does anybody want one? Because I'll send it to you. You're welcome, Mom Munson. And I'll get with you about the addresses. Cheryl will take a greeting card. All right. So Cheryl's going to get the spare card with the butterfly. So I have a card and an ATC. And Janet wants the ATC and Christy wants the card. Okay? So Janet, I'll send you the ATC and I'll send Christy the butterfly card. And that takes care of everything. All right? Sounds like a plan, guys. I'm glad everybody had fun. And I will see you guys later. I've got a little bit I need to get done around here. So, bye, guys.